There will come a time in the sacred stillness of your days when you will pause and almost breathlessly ask yourself, who is the person I truly long to be? Perhaps this question arises not in triumph, but in the hush between heartbeats, in the aftermath of disappointment, or in the gentle weariness that finds you when striving has run its course. This is not the inquiry of the ego hungry for applause or affirmation. This is the voice of the soul, ancient and true, inviting you to remember, to awaken, to return. Being the person you want to be is not a journey of acquisition, but of revelation. It is not about adding layer upon layer of achievement, status, or validation, but about peeling away what is false and unneeded until only the luminous core remains. The Tao Te Ching whispers, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. And so the path is not one of becoming, but of unbecoming, all that is not you, so that what is eternal may shine through. In this world, you have been taught to measure yourself by shifting standards and borrowed yardsticks. You have worn masks crafted by the hands of others, roles, expectations, shoulds, and in chasing those illusions, you have often run away from the quiet, indwelling voice that simply says, you are already enough. You have learned to compete, to compare, to carve out an identity from fleeting victories and shallow praise, forgetting the deeper truth that you are not a drop in the ocean of humanity, but the whole ocean contained in a single drop. You are not a stranger lost in a foreign land. You are the beloved, returning home to your own sacred heart. The person you want to be is not somewhere far away, waiting at the end of an arduous pilgrimage or hidden in the future tense. The person you want to be is here, breathing through you, patient beneath the clamor of your mind, unwavering in the midst of all the stories you have told yourself. You do not need to travel 1,000 miles to find them, nor climb the highest mountain or cross the wildest sea. You need only to be still, to listen, to allow the gentle unveiling of your truest self. The ego will tell you that you must do more, achieve more, fix yourself before you are worthy of your own love. It will entice you with the promise that fulfillment lives just beyond the next milestone, that peace will be yours when conditions align. But the soul, timeless and unhurried, reminds you, the garden you seek is already blooming within you. The only work is to lift the veil, to notice, to remember. What if you stopped trying to become someone and instead allowed yourself to be? What if you traded self-judgment for self-compassion, replaced striving with surrender, and began to trust in the wisdom that formed you? The very same intelligence that orchestrates the blossoming of a rose, the rising of the sun, the silent spinning of galaxies lives within you. Your essence is not broken, not deficient, not waiting to be completed by some outer circumstance. You are already whole. Your longing is not evidence of lack, but of hidden wholeness calling you home. To be the person you want to be is to dissolve the illusions of separation. The world will insist that you are your accomplishments, your failures, your appearance, your reputation. But these are only passing clouds across the vast sky of your consciousness. You are not the weather, you are the sky itself, boundless and eternal, able to hold storm and sunlight without being defined by either. Like the ancient sages, remember, you are not the waves on the surface, you are the deep, unchanging ocean beneath. Awakening to this truth is the beginning of freedom. For so long, you have searched for answers in the world outside, approval, control, possessions, victories, believing that something out there could finally make you whole. But the more you chase, the more distant the horizon appears. The more you cling to the fleeting, the more you miss the enduring treasure within. Stop, breathe, return. Within you there is a stillness, a silence untouched by any circumstance. It is the space between your thoughts, the quiet center that remains steady even as life rises and falls. In that place, you are not defined by your past, not imprisoned by old wounds, not shackled by anyone's opinion. You are free. You are infinite. You are enough. Rumi, the poet mystic, writes, "You wander from room to room, hunting for the diamond necklace that is already around your neck. How many years have you spent searching for what you already are? How many lifetimes have you looked for worth in the eyes of others, forgetting that your value is woven into the very fabric of your being? There is nothing you need to become. There is only the invitation to remember. Let the past fall away like autumn leaves, no longer clinging to branches that cannot hold them. The mistakes, the regrets, the moments you wish you could rewrite, they do not define you. They are compost for your growth, teachers dressed as trouble, guides in disguise. Release them with gratitude. Thank them for what they taught you and then let them go. Your true self is not a prisoner of the past, but a child of eternity. Every day, the world invites you to wear new masks, to play new roles, to forget your true face. But the invitation of the soul is different. It says, remove the armor, drop the pretense, stand naked in your own presence, unafraid of being seen, unafraid of being real. For only when you dare to be real can you touch the real in others. Only when you are authentic can you invite authenticity. Only when you live from your essence can you truly live. Being the person you want to be is not an act of willpower, but an act of surrender. It is not about controlling your circumstances, but about allowing your true nature to guide you. The oak tree does not force itself to grow. It surrenders to the intelligence encoded within its seed. You too have a blueprint of greatness imprinted in your soul. Trust it, water it with kindness. Expose it to the sunlight of self-love. Protect it from the weeds of self-doubt and comparison. And above all, be patient. The flowering comes not by striving, but by allowing. Sometimes you will fall, sometimes you will forget. Sometimes the old voices will rise up and try to convince you that you are not enough, not ready, not worthy. When this happens, do not fight them. Meet them with compassion. Thank them for their concern, and then return to your center. You are not your thoughts. You are the witness of your thoughts, the observer who is never diminished by what is observed. Jesus taught the kingdom of heaven is within you. He did not say it would be yours after a lifetime of toil or self-improvement. He said, it is within now in this very breath. The only separation is the illusion that you are separate. Drop the illusion and you drop the burden. Drop the burden and you rise. Forgive yourself for every time you abandoned your own heart in search of belonging. Forgive yourself for every time you betrayed your truth to avoid discomfort. Forgive yourself for every moment you judged your reflection in the mirror or measured your worth by someone else's yardstick. These are not failures. They are invitations to return. Return to gentleness. Return to authenticity. Return to the unshakable core of who you are. Being the person you want to be means letting go of the need for outside validation. The world cannot give you what it did not create. Your worth is not up for debate. It was assigned to you by the same source that painted the sunrise, composed the symphony of the stars, and called your name into existence. You do not need the world's permission to be whole. You only need your own. The ego will argue, but what if I am not enough? What if I am rejected, criticized, unloved? And yet, the soul answers, what if you are already enough? What if you are loved beyond measure, not because of what you do, but because of who you are? There is nothing to prove. There is only the gentle art of being real, being present, being alive to the miracle of your own existence. Do not wait for the world to recognize your value. Recognize it yourself, and the world will reflect it back to you in unexpected ways. Walk into every room knowing you are the guest of honor at the banquet of life. Speak with the quiet confidence of one who knows their soul is eternal. Act not to impress, but to express. Love not to possess, but to bless. Give not to be noticed, but because you cannot help but overflow. True power is not dominance, but alignment. When you are aligned with your soul, you do not need to shout to be heard or strive to be seen. Your presence becomes its own language. You enter a room, and others sense the calm within you, the calm that comes from knowing you are enough right now, as you are. Let your days unfold from this center. Let your actions arise not from a need to fill a void, but from the abundance of being full. Let your relationships be sacred ground for authenticity, not performance. Love yourself first, not out of arrogance, but out of the recognition that you cannot give what you have not claimed as your own. Imagine for a moment that you are a lighthouse on a foggy shore. Your task is not to chase ships, nor to convince the world of your light. Your only task is to stand in your radiance, steady and unwavering, so that others may find their way. The person you want to be is already the light within you. It does not need to be invented, only uncovered. This is the paradox. When you stop trying to be someone, you become the very person you have always longed to be. When you stop resisting what is, you allow what could be. When you stop hiding, you shine. And in your shining, you give permission for the world to do the same. Every moment is a threshold, an invitation to choose authenticity over approval, presence over performance, being over becoming. Life will offer endless opportunities to forget who you are, but each forgetting is only a prelude to remembering. And every time you remember, you return with greater tenderness, greater wisdom, greater freedom. You are not your wounds, though you have been wounded. You are not your losses, though you have known grief. You are not your failures, though you have stumbled and fallen. These are chapters in the story, but they are not the author. The author is the awareness that holds it all, the witnessing presence, spacious and unshakable, that has never been diminished by any experience. To be the person you want to be is to dwell in that awareness, to make your home in the heart of your own being. It is to look at yourself with eyes of love, to speak to yourself with words of gentleness, to hold yourself in the embrace of forgiveness. It is to know beyond all doubt that you are enough, not in some future moment, but now. The journey does not require you to renounce the world, but to see it with new eyes. Every encounter becomes an opportunity to practice presence. Every challenge becomes an invitation to respond with love rather than fear. Every disappointment becomes a doorway to deeper truth. Release the habit of striving for what you already possess. Release the compulsion to fix what was never broken. Release the need to explain or defend your existence. You are not here to meet the world's expectations. You are here to meet your own soul. The person you want to be is not waiting in the wings, hoping for their cue. They are center stage right now, waiting for you to claim them. They are not an image to be perfected, but a truth to be lived. They are not a distant ideal, but a living reality, breathing in you as you look into the eyes of the people you love. See in them the same longing, the same struggle, the same divine spark. Remember that everyone you meet is also searching for permission to be real, to be seen, to be enough. Be that permission. Be the safe space where others can lay down their masks, if only for a moment. There is a freedom that comes from self-acceptance that cannot be purchased, cannot be bestowed, cannot be lost. It is the birthright of every soul, the silent song that plays beneath every story, the melody that remains when all other music fades. Claim that freedom, walk in it, breathe it in with every breath. The spiritual path is not a ladder to be climbed, but a spiral of remembering. You will circle back to old lessons, revisit ancient wounds, encounter familiar doubts. This is not failure, it is deepening. With each return, you bring more compassion, more understanding, more light. Let go of the illusion of arrival. There is no finish line in the journey of being. There is only the eternal now, the unfolding moment, the sacred chance to be fully alive. Do not postpone your own presence for another day. Be the person you want to be now, in this imperfect, miraculous, fleeting moment. The sages and mystics of every age have tried to tell us, you are the treasure you seek. You are the love you long for. You are the peace you pursue. Everything you have been searching for is not hidden in the world outside, but quietly waiting for your attention within. Trust this. Rest in this. Let it be enough. When the storms of life rage, return to your center. When the voices of doubt grow loud, anchor yourself in the truth that cannot be shaken. When you feel lost, remember that the path home is always open, always illuminated from within. You are not required to be perfect. You are only required to be present. The divine does not love you because you are flawless. It loves you because you are its own creation, radiant and real and irreplaceable. Allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to stumble and rise, to ache and heal, to laugh and cry. There is holiness in every experience if you will only bring your presence to it. And as you live from this place, soft, unguarded, awake, you will discover a new kind of power. Not the power to control, but the power to trust. Not the power to dominate, but the power to inspire. Not the power to escape pain, but the power to be with it, to learn from it, to let it shape you into someone more open, more compassionate, more real. There will be days when you forget. There will be moments when the old patterns return. This, too, is part of the journey. Do not shame yourself for being human. Gently, patiently, bring yourself back. Again and again, return to the truth that you are already enough. Let your life be a testament to presence. Let your words be a balm for weary hearts. Let your actions arise from love, not fear. Let your very being be a sanctuary for yourself and others. In the end, being the person you want to be is not about constructing a perfect self, but about living as your true self, unfiltered, unafraid, and unashamed. It is about standing in the light of your own presence, radiating the truth that you are, always have been, and always will be enough. You are the breath of the divine, the song of the universe, the light in the window that guides the lost safely home. Live from that place. and your life will be the answer to every question your soul has ever asked. And so when you wake each morning, do not ask, "What must I do to become?" Instead, whisper gently to your heart, "How can I allow myself to be?" And in the space that follows, let your soul speak. Let your spirit rise. Let your true self, timeless, whole, and holy, step into the world, unencumbered by doubt or fear. For the person you want to be is not out of reach. They are not hidden in the shadows, nor lost in the past. They are here, now, waiting to be lived. Be that person, not tomorrow, not when you are ready, not when the world gives you permission. Now, this is your invitation. This is your homecoming. This is the miracle of being. And so as you stand quietly at the edge of your own becoming, let yourself notice the gentle miracle in this very moment. Beneath the surface noise of the world, beneath every question and longing, there breathes an ancient stillness that belongs to you. This stillness is not empty, but infinitely alive, a silent reservoir of wisdom, like a deep well whose waters never run dry. Each breath is drawn from that well, and each breath is an act of trust, a small declaration that you are worthy of the space you inhabit, worthy of the love that pulses invisibly around you, worthy of simply being. Let yourself feel into the richness of this truth. You are not required to strive for what you already possess. There is no hidden gatekeeper, no cosmic tally keeper weighing your days and nights, no list of invisible requirements you must fulfill to earn your right to shine. Instead, there is a boundless welcome, the universe itself greeting you with every sunrise, every kindness, every unrepeatable heartbeat. You belong, not because you have done something to secure your place, but because you are woven of the very fabric of belonging itself. Do not hurry past this knowing. Savor it. Allow it to unfurl through you like light gradually filling a darkened room, revealing new dimensions you had never noticed before. You are not here to conquer the world nor to bend reality to your will. You are here to witness the sacredness hidden in all things, to celebrate the small, ordinary moments as the true altars of transformation. Each encounter, each word spoken in love, each silent act of forgiveness becomes a thread in the tapestry of your soul's awakening. There will be times when the world demands that you move faster, try harder, speak louder. In those moments, let yourself remember the gentle authority of presence. You do not need to compete with the thunder to be heard. Your very being is the quiet rainfall that nourishes life. The trees grow not by shouting their purpose, but by quietly stretching toward the light. The river does not prove its worth by racing, but by allowing itself to flow, embracing every curve, every stone, every possibility. And as you deepen into the practice of being, let gratitude become your constant companion, not as a forced exercise, but as a natural blossoming of awareness. Gratitude is not simply a feeling. It is the eyes through which you see the world, the ears with which you listen for the music of the divine woven into every moment. It is the recognition that even your challenges, your unanswered prayers, your longings and delays are all part of a perfect unfolding you cannot yet fully comprehend. In this space of gratitude, old resentments begin to soften. The heavy armor you once wore to protect your heart slips away, replaced by a gentle openness, a willingness to meet each moment with curiosity rather than resistance. Forgiveness ceases to be a difficult task and becomes a natural letting go, a return to the original innocence beneath every story of hurt. Like the moon shedding its shadow night after night, you release what is heavy and reveal the light that was never lost. Let yourself befriend the unknown. The person you long to be is not a fixed destination, but a living dance with mystery, with not knowing, with surrender. Life is not a puzzle to be solved, but a relationship to be experienced. When you stop needing every answer, you discover a spaciousness that allows life to surprise you, to move you, to shape you in ways your mind could never orchestrate. The soul thrives not on certainty, but on wonder. Let your intentions be clear, but your grip be gentle. Desire what sets your heart alight, but do not bind your worth to the outcomes. Your truest fulfillment comes not from possessing, but from participating, from saying yes to the call that rises from your depths, even when you do not know where it will lead. Each step you take in faith expands the horizon of what is possible. Each act of courage becomes a silent teacher to those who watch, even from afar. Notice how the more you release your need for control, the more ease finds its way into your life. Where once you pushed, now you invite. Where once you demanded, now you allow. The world may not always mirror back your intentions in the form you expect, but trust that it always responds to the energy of your being. As you embody alignment, The world rearranges itself around your presence. People are drawn, opportunities emerge, challenges transform into doorways you never could have predicted. You are not alone in this unfolding. Though the path of authenticity may sometimes feel solitary, it is shared by every soul who has ever longed to remember, to awaken, to come home. There is a quiet fellowship that transcends time and space, a communion of hearts choosing to live in truth rather than in fear. When you open yourself to this field, you will sense it a warmth, a reassurance, a subtle guidance that nudges you onward when the way seems unclear. Trust the wisdom of your own becoming. Trust that the very same force that grew you from a single cell, that beat your heart before you even had words for longing, is still at work within you. Your intuition is not a vague hunch, but the language of the soul. It is the current of life speaking in sensations, in quiet knowing, in the gentle ache that says, this is the way. Listen, even when it leads you where reason cannot follow. Listen, for in that listening, you are led by something far more enduring than the logic of the mind. Celebrate the beauty of your contradictions. You are both fierce and tender, both fragile and strong, both ancient and new in every moment. There is no need to resolve these opposites. Like the wave in the ocean, you are both the individual and the infinite, both the story and the silence that holds it. Allow yourself to be fully human and fully divine, imperfect in action, yet perfect in essence. In this embrace, you become a sanctuary not only for yourself, but for everyone who longs to belong. Remember, there is no arrival. The person you want to be is not a static state, but a living presence, a soul who says yes to the dance of each day, who greets each dawn as a sacred opportunity to remember to choose to love again. The world does not need another performer, another masked success story. The world needs you authentic, awake, and whole, showing what it means to live from the inside out. Let your life be your greatest act of faith, not a faith that asks for guarantees, but a faith that trusts the unfolding, even when the way is hidden. Know that every time you choose authenticity over approval, presence over pretense, being over doing, you ripple outwards in ways you may never see, touching lives, igniting courage, awakening hope. This is the quiet revolution, one soul at a time, remembering who they truly are. So breathe into this moment, welcome it as it is, without needing it to be different. Rest in the sufficiency of your own presence, and let the world feel the blessing of a person who has made peace with themselves. You are not here to be someone else. You are here to be the luminous, unrepeatable expression of the divine that only you can be. And as you do, you become the very person you have always longed for, the one who was waiting patiently all along for you to simply say yes. And now, as the evening sun pours gold across the quiet landscape of your soul, let yourself soften into the hush that follows all searching. Here, where effort finally falls away and nothing more must be proven, you become the answer to the question that has followed you through every room, every trial, every sleepless night. Who am I? When I am simply being? You are not the sum of unfinished dreams, nor the echo of past mistakes, nor the flickering image reflected by a world forever distracted by shadows. You are the silent witness behind the dream, the open sky beyond every changing weather. Like the horizon that cradles both dawn and dusk, you hold within you the full spectrum of life, the laughter and the longing, the ache and the awakening, the wounds and the wonder. Let your soul rest now in the recognition that nothing essential was ever missing. The years spent grasping for meaning were never wasted. Each one was a lantern illuminating the path back to yourself. All the longing was a kind of prayer answered now by your willingness to come home to the present. There is nothing left to seek, nothing left to earn, only a quiet surrender to the miracle of your own existence. You are the calm at the center of the world's turning, the gentle rhythm beneath the noise, the unwavering light that remains after every storm has spent itself. Do not diminish this light to fit into places that were never meant to contain you. Do not shrink your truth for comfort or acceptance. Let your life rise unbound and authentic, like rivers returning to the sea, like stars blazing undimmed across the velvet night. When you speak, let it be from the deep well of your being, where words arise not to impress, but to bless. When you love, let it be from the fullness that knows love is not a bargain, but a gift spilling over, for no reason but that it is your nature to give. When you act, let it be in the spirit of sacred offering, not to fill a void, but because you are already overflowing. Forgive yourself and forgive the world. Carry only what lightens your heart. Release every heavy memory, Every unkind word ever spoken in fear, let them return to the nothingness from which they came. Remember that what endures is not the wound, but the healing, not the mistake, but the grace that gathers after, not the fear, but the love that quietly outlasts it all. You are not the noise. You are the silence in which it plays. You are not the striving. You are the breath that rises before the first thought of effort. You are not the story. You are the space in which the story is told, the presence in which all things come and go. And in this presence, you discover the freedom that can never be given or taken away. You stand in the light of your own soul, unburdened, unashamed, unhurried. You realize at last that to be the person you want to be is not to become someone else, but to return with open arms and quiet awe to who you already are. The sages have always known, the poets have always sung, the peace you seek is not waiting on the far side of achievement. It is here, in the simplicity of being, in the holy ordinariness of a single breath. This is your sanctuary. This is your rebirth. This is the gentle revolution that begins in your own heart and radiates quietly into the heart of the world. Let your days unfold from this awareness. Walk softly, speak gently, live fully. Meet each moment as a guest from beyond time, bringing gifts you cannot measure, miracles you do not need to understand. And when the noise of the world rises again, when old patterns call you back into the trance of forgetting, simply pause, return, remember, you are the soul beneath the surface. You are the timeless witness behind the play of forms. You are the beloved, the dreamer, the light. There is nowhere else you need to go. There is nothing else you need to prove. There is only this infinite permission to be utterly, luminously, and divinely yourself. Let this be the quiet anthem of your days. I am here, I am whole. I am the person I was always seeking. And let the universe, in all its silent knowing, smile upon you as you finally become not someone else, but the radiant, unrepeatable soul you were born to be. There will come a dawn, unlike any other, gentle and hushed, when you will wake not to the clamor of demands or the shadows of longing, but to a silence so full, so infinite, that it speaks to the deepest part of you. On this sacred morning, whether in a quiet room, beneath the hush of early sun, or in the soft ache of your heart's solitude, you will sense a question, ancient and pure, rising from the depths. What if it's already yours? Pause and breathe, for within this question is a mystery and a key, a wisdom sung by sages and whispered by your soul since the beginning of time. What if all that you have sought, peace, freedom, wholeness, love, has never been a distant prize to chase, but a hidden inheritance, waiting in silent readiness, aching for your recognition? What if the life you yearn for is not a place you arrive, but a reality you awaken to in this very breath? It's already yours, the still voice says. Live that way. Ah, in the gentle tradition of the Tao Te Ching, I invite you not to strive, but to return to the truth beneath all stories, to the ground beneath all wandering. This is not a journey of becoming, but of unveiling, not a path of accumulation, but of surrender. For you are not here to chase worth across deserts of longing, but to rediscover the living water within your own soul. You are not a beggar at the gate of existence. You are the beloved of the infinite, called by name, endowed with the boundless gifts of spirit and creation. Look deeply, with eyes that see beyond the surface of things. You have been taught to see yourself as incomplete, as one day to be made whole by effort, achievement, or approval. You have been trained to believe that love is something to be earned, that worth is something to be proven, that peace is a rare oasis glimpsed only after struggle. But what if this was all a dream, a necessary sleep for the soul, but a dream nonetheless? What if you are waking now to a greater truth? You are not the roles you have played, the names you have answered, the body that carries you through the seasons. You are not your history or your hurts, your triumphs or your titles. You are not the mask, but the face behind it. Not the story, but the silent page on which the story is written. Like sunlight mistaken for the lamp that holds it, your true self has been veiled only by identification with the fleeting and the false. Yet behind every experience, through every tide of fortune, there has always been a steady light, a consciousness untouched by time, a presence beyond all fear, an I am that abides when all else falls away. Do you feel it now? The quiet, invulnerable core of your being, alive and eternal, untouched by circumstance. This is your real nature, your divine identity, your original face before the world told you who to be. The mystics called it Atman, Christ within, Buddha nature, the pure awareness that witnesses, loves, and endures, even as all else changes. And what does this mean for you, beloved soul? It means that you need not seek outside yourself for that which you already are. The peace you chase in distant places, the love you yearn to receive, the joy you hope to possess, they are not external treasures, but inner realities waiting for your acceptance. The search is not to bring in, but to draw out, not to add, but to reveal, not to strive, but to allow. So much of your suffering has come from forgetting this truth. The world whispers that you are lacking, that happiness lies just beyond the next hill, that fulfillment must be earned or achieved. The ego, frightened and fragile, measures life in terms of more approval, more accomplishment, more security, more control. Yet the soul, ancient and knowing, calls you gently to less, striving, less judgment, less resistance, less noise. In the space of less, you rediscover the everything that is already yours. Imagine standing before a mirror fogged by years of breath and belief. You cannot see your own reflection, and so you begin to look elsewhere, hoping to catch a glimpse of yourself in the eyes of others, in the praise of the world, in the accumulation of symbols. Yet the mirror only needs to be wiped clean. The truth of who you are has never been absent, only obscured. With every moment of stillness, with every act of acceptance, you polish the glass, and the radiant face of your own soul shines forth, undiminished by the passage of time. This is the great paradox at the heart of spiritual awakening. Nothing needs to be added. Everything must be unveiled. You do not heal by acquiring a new self, but by releasing all that is not you. You do not awaken by climbing the ladder of achievement, but by sinking into the ground of being. You do not become whole by gathering more, but by letting go of the old stories, the borrowed fears, the ancient defenses that have kept you from your natural state. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to remember it. You are not here to win love. You are here to radiate it. You are not here to chase freedom. You are here to discover you have always been free. What then is left to do? Only this: to live as if it's already yours. To walk in the world with the quiet confidence of one who has nothing to prove, nothing to protect, nothing to lose. To breathe as if every breath is a prayer of gratitude. To see as if the divine peers through your eyes at itself in all things. To give, not out of emptiness, but from the overflowing fullness that is the truth of your being. Let your life become a testament to sufficiency. Let your actions arise from a sense of inner wealth, not inner lack. When you create, let it be the overflow of joy. When you serve, let it be the expression of completeness. When you love, let it be the reflection of a heart that knows itself as love. Consider the lilies of the field, said the teacher, how they neither toil nor spin. Yet even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. The lily does not fret about its beauty or worth. It simply blooms. It trusts the soil, the sun, the rain. It opens to life without resistance. In its being, it glorifies the source that made it. So too with you. Your worth is not up for debate. Your right to joy is not conditional. Your beauty is not measured by comparison. You glorify the divine not by striving, but by being fully yourself. As Rumi wrote, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. The wave does not need permission to rise and fall. It is already the movement of the sea. Live, then, as if your inheritance has already been given, because it has. Act not from hunger, but from the banquet that is your true nature. Trust that the universe is for you, not against you. Trust that life's intelligence flows through you, arranging all things for your highest good, even when appearances seem otherwise. This is not passivity. This is the most radical form of participation. When you root yourself in wholeness, you become a vessel for grace, an agent of healing, a channel for miracles. You cease to grasp and begin to give. You cease to compete and begin to collaborate. You cease to defend and begin to disarm. The world is transformed not by force, but by the silent radiation of truth from those who have awakened to their own divine nature. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for the world to agree. The world cannot grant what it did not give. Your worth is established by the infinite, your belonging by the very act of creation. You are here because the universe desired you. You are here because life itself could not be complete without your song. Rest now in this knowing. Let your breath anchor you to the present, where all miracles are born. Let your heart open to the mystery, where all healing takes place. Let your mind become still enough to receive the wisdom that has waited lifetimes for your return. This is the true revolution, not the endless pursuit of becoming, but the sacred art of being. Not the loud declaration of I will be, but the quiet realization of I am. Not the anxious scramble for more, but the gentle acceptance that nothing is missing. When you live this way, miracles become ordinary. Synchronicities abound. Doors open of their own accord. The right people appear, the right opportunities arise, not because you have forced life to comply, but because you have aligned with its deeper flow. You have become the yes that life has always been waiting for. You begin to sense the hidden order beneath the surface chaos. You begin to see with new eyes, the eyes of spirit, which recognize only unity, only possibility, only love. The distinctions between mine and yours, self and other, begin to blur, and in their place arises a sense of communion so deep it transcends words. You realize that what you bless in another, you bless in yourself. That what you withhold from the world, you deny to your own heart. This is the secret of true abundance. It is not a matter of acquisition, but of realization. Not a question of what you can get, but of what you can give. The wealth of your soul is measured not in possessions, but in presence. The treasure is not outside, but within. Sit quietly and ask yourself, what am I still chasing? Whose approval am I still seeking? What emptiness am I trying to fill with noise, with busyness, with more? Let the questions hang in the air, without judgment, without hurry. Beneath every craving is a deeper yearning to remember your own completeness, to come home to the self that cannot be improved or diminished. Release the old idea that you must earn your place at the table of life. You are not a guest here, you are family. You belong not because you have met some standard, but because you are an expression of the very intelligence that spins galaxies and sings through birds. And the miracle is not that you exist, but that you have existed all along as the secret, silent center of your own seeking. What does it mean then to live as if it's already yours? It means to trust the timing of your own becoming, to honor the seasons of rest as much as the seasons of growth, to know that nothing truly yours can ever be taken, and nothing not meant for you can ever satisfy. It means to relinquish the struggle, to surrender the need to control, to open your hands and let grace move you where it will. You are the dreamer and the dream, the canvas and the paint, the beloved and the lover. You are both the question and the answer, the path and the homecoming, the ache and the fulfillment. The entire universe turns within you, as you, for you. When challenges arise, do not shrink. Let them become your teachers, your initiations into greater self-trust. When loss visits, let it empty you of all that is not essential, so that only truth remains. When the ego shouts that you are not enough, respond with the quiet certainty of one who knows, I am, I always have been. I always will be. Forgive yourself for forgetting. The forgetting was necessary, brought you to this moment of remembrance. Every detour, every disappointment, every heartbreak was the brushstroke of a loving hand, guiding you back to center. Do not regret the journey, bless it. It made you ready to receive the truth that could not be forced, only invited, only allowed. And now, the invitation is open, the banquet is laid. The only requirement is your presence, your willingness to see yourself as you truly are, whole, holy, home. This is the place from which all healing flows. This is the state from which all dreams are born. When you live as if it's already yours, you become a living blessing, a walking permission slip for others to remember their own light. Let your life become a silent teaching. Let your presence do the work that words cannot. Walk softly, love deeply, give freely, knowing that you cannot exhaust the infinite because you are one with its source. In every moment, ask yourself, what would I do if I truly believed it's already mine? How would I move? How would I speak? How would I love? How would I forgive? Let your answers become your practice, your prayer, your path. Do not be discouraged by the mind's doubts or the world's noise. The mind is a faithful servant, but a poor master. Its doubts are the clouds, but you are the sky. The world's noise is the river, but you are the bedrock beneath. Let the doubts come and go. The opinions rise and fall. The circumstances shift and change. Your essence remains, silent and serene, the unmoved witness of all. You are not here to add to your self-image, but to dissolve it. You are not here to win the approval of others, but to bless them by living your truth. You are not here to secure your place in a fleeting world, but to realize your eternal belonging in a universe of love. Let your days become an unfolding prayer. Let your nights be a return to peace. Let every challenge become a doorway, every encounter a mirror. every breath a reunion with the sacred. There is nowhere you must arrive, nothing you must become, no prize you must win. It is already yours. Even now, as you read these words, something ancient stirs. It is the memory of who you have always been, beneath the layers of fear and forgetting. Let this memory grow, let it blossom, let it light the way forward. And as it does, know this: you do not walk alone. The same presence that brought you here walks with you, within you, as you. May your days be blessed with the courage to receive. May your nights be blessed with the peace of surrender. May your life become a living affirmation of the truth that cannot be spoken, only known in the silent chambers of the heart. Live then, not as a seeker, but as a finder, not as a beggar, but as a beloved child of the infinite, not as a stranger in a foreign land, but as the very land itself, the ground of being in which all things grow. It's already yours. Live that way. Let the world adjust to your radiance. Let life unfold from the fullness you embody. Let love become your language and truth your song. For in the end, there is nothing left to seek, only everything to remember. Nothing left to chase, only everything to allow. Nothing left to earn, only everything to become conscious of. You are the light. You are the way. You are the living proof that the divine has never left the world. It shines quietly and eternally through you. May you walk gently, love fiercely, and awaken daily to the miracle of your own being. May you never again doubt your place in the universe or the rightness of your existence. May you come to know, beyond all knowing, that what you have sought so long and so bravely is and always has been already yours. Live that way, and let your life be the answer to the question the world has forgotten to ask. For you are whole, you are free, you are home. And now, beloved, awaken, awaken, and live. And so, as the soft tide of realization begins to move through you, you notice how the world itself responds to this inner awakening. It's as if the very air grows lighter, as if each moment begins to shimmer with possibility, awaiting only your conscious participation. You see, the universe is not indifferent to your awareness. It mirrors back the tone of your inner song. When you dwell in the sanctuary of sufficiency, life meets you not with obstacles but invitations, each day, each person, each circumstance, conspiring to call forth the fullness that is your birthright. In this sacred state, striving falls away. You are no longer a leaf tossed by the winds of circumstance, but the tree whose roots drink deeply from the unseeable source. You begin to witness a harmony that does not depend on conditions. It is a melody arising from the center of your being, resonant with the wisdom of ages, echoing the knowing of Lao Tzu, who whispered that all things are accomplished by doing nothing, not out of apathy, but because you have ceased to oppose the natural flow. You trust in the unfolding. You become the space in which miracles appear. Let yourself become silent, if only for a breath, and notice what remains when all else subsides. That presence, quiet but undeniable, is the foundation upon which all true transformation stands. You do not need to grasp at life, for you are already held by it. The hands of the divine are beneath you always, even when you cannot see them. Your every need is known, every longing cherished, every question already met with a deeper wisdom that answers in silence. Begin now to notice how the subtle grip of old fears loosens in the light of this awareness. Anxiety, once so persistent, becomes transparent and frail. It cannot withstand the gaze of a soul that remembers its origin. For how could you ever lack for anything when you are an emanation of the infinite? How could you be alone when you are inseparable from the one that gave you breath? Doubt fades as certainty arises, not the brittle certainty of rigid belief, but the living confidence that comes from knowing yourself as a wave belonging utterly to the ocean. Each step you take in this remembrance is a quiet revolution. No longer do you walk the world as a seeker haunted by emptiness, but as a living expression of wholeness itself. There is a grace in your presence, a soft radiance that touches those you meet, sometimes without a word, sometimes only with a glance. In this space, compassion flows effortlessly because judgment has no roots in the ground of being. You see through the masks others wear, recognizing in their eyes the same spark that animates your own heart. You may begin to notice that forgiveness now arises naturally, not as an effort, but as a result of clarity. The wounds of the past, once so defining, become windows clear open, allowing light to pour through. Resentments dissolve in the healing waters of present awareness. You find yourself free to bless even those who once caused pain, for you know now that nothing real can ever be threatened and nothing unreal ever truly existed. All that remains is love, expansive, forgiving, undemanding. There is a humility that blooms when you awaken to this truth, not the humility that belittles, but the humility that bows in awe before the vastness within. You recognize that your story is both unique and universal, that your journey is both solitary and shared. You walk softly, honoring the mystery that weaves all beings together, and you find yourself guided by an inner compass whose needle always points toward kindness. As this state deepens, you become aware of the gentle guidance that has been present all along. Intuition, once dismissed as fancy, now stands revealed as the voice of your deepest knowing. You trust the gentle nudges, the quiet urgings, the sudden inspirations that arise from stillness. No longer bound by the tyranny of overthinking, you learn to move in harmony with life's unfolding choreography, each choice a step in the sacred dance. The boundary between effort and grace grows thin, until you no longer remember where one ends and the other begins. Your work becomes worship, your rest becomes restoration, your presence becomes prayer. You give yourself wholly and without reserve to the moment at hand, not in obligation, but in devotion. Each ordinary act is infused with the extraordinary, for you have remembered that the divine lives not just in grand gestures, but in the simplest tasks performed with an open heart. And as you embody this truth, fear of the future loses its grip. Worry about what may come is replaced by a quiet faith in the rightness of all things. You understand finally that you are always exactly where you need to be, that the journey is never ahead or behind, but always unfolding within. You trust the process, allowing life to reveal its gifts in its own time, in its own way. Those around you may sense this transformation before you fully realize it yourself. They may find themselves softened by your presence, comforted by your calm, inspired by your example. Without intention or strategy, you become a living invitation for others to awaken to their own enoughness. Your joy is not loud, but it is contagious. Your peace does not demand, but it is magnetic. You begin to see beauty everywhere, not only in the perfect, but in the unfinished, the broken, the becoming. The world reveals itself as a work in progress, a poem forever being written, a song always singing itself anew. You become a lover of the incomplete, a friend to uncertainty, a companion to change. The need to control falls away, replaced by a childlike wonder at the infinite forms love can take. In this openness, you realize that true abundance is not measured by what you hold, but by what you are willing to release. Letting go becomes a celebration, not a sacrifice. You discover the paradox that the more you trust, the more is given, the more you loosen your grip, the more life places in your hands. Generosity arises not from duty, but from the joy of seeing the sacred in all things. And so you walk on, not hurried, not hesitant, but steady and serene. The wind of spirit moves through you, shaping each day, each breath, each encounter into an opportunity for deeper knowing. You realize there is no need to strive for enlightenment, for it is not a destination, but a way of seeing, a way of loving, a way of being wholly present to what is. In this space, gratitude flows unbidden. You thank the sky for its vastness, the earth for its steadiness, the people in your life for their part in your remembering. Even your challenges become blessings, each one a reminder to return again to the center, again to the source, again to the truth that cannot be shaken. Nothing is missing, nothing is wasted, everything belongs. This is the new inheritance, unconditional, unearned, unending. And as you live into this truth, you become what you have always sought, a clear vessel, a willing heart, a living answer to the silent question at the center of all things. And as the circle gently closes, as night yields again to the soft unveiling of dawn, feel the holy quiet that fills the space within you. Here, in the hush that follows all seeking, you recognize at last the subtle miracle of being, of existing just as you are, with nothing to amend, no more battles to fight within yourself. This is the sanctuary untouched by the world's commotion, the temple of pure presence, where the soul rests in its original peace. Breathe it in, this sacred fullness. Let it soak into every cell, every memory, every longing that ever told you something was missing. You have wandered far in search of answers, and all along the answer was the light you carried unseen, perhaps beneath burdens, behind old sorrows but never extinguished. Now, as you surrender even the need to understand, what remains is not a conclusion, but a new beginning, the permission to simply be, and in being, to witness the boundless grace that has always sustained you. The heart, free from the labor of proving, opens with effortless compassion. The mind, released from endless rehearsal, becomes a quiet sky. The body, no longer armored for a distant war, softens and comes home to itself. And in this homecoming, you realize you were never lost, only dreaming of separation. Let this awareness wash over you like rain upon parched earth. Feel the gentle dissolving of all that is not essential, all that was borrowed, all that was armored against the imagined absence of love. With each breath, the old scaffolding of striving falls away, revealing the indestructible core that has always been your true inheritance. Here, you are both ancient and newborn. Here, you are the silence behind all sound, the space that allows all forms, the witness of each passing mood. Here you are, the infinite in a single heartbeat, the echo of the divine remembering itself through the gift of your existence. You do not need to rise above this world to touch the sacred. You need only to see it where you are. The holy is not somewhere else, reserved for the worthy or the pure. It is what shimmers in the ordinary when seen with eyes of love. Washing a cup, you meet the sacred. Holding a hand, you bless the cosmos. Whispering words of kindness, you echo the voice of eternity. No grand pilgrimage is needed, only the return, again and again, to this immediate presence, this unrepeatable moment. Release now the last illusion that anything is required of you but presence. There is no scale weighing your worth, no ledger recording your value, no outer authority standing between you and the source of life. All the old debts have been forgiven, all the unfinished business is swept clean in the tide of this awareness. What remains is the simplicity of now, the humility to receive, the courage to accept, the grace to allow yourself to be exactly as you are. Let gratitude arise not as a duty, but as the spontaneous song of a soul reunited with itself. Give thanks for the journey with all its beauty and bewilderment, for the teachers, both gentle and fierce, for the detours and the homecomings, for the longing that kept calling you deeper. Bless the path, for it brought you here to the unguarded joy of enoughness. Walk on now, without hurry, without fear. There is no destination greater than this awakened presence. Every step is blessed, not because of where it leads, but because of who walks it, aware, awake, remembering. Each day is a new page for your unfolding story, not a story of striving, but a testament to what is possible when you trust that all is already given. If you ever forget, return to stillness. If you ever doubt, lay your hand upon your heart and feel the rhythm of your own existence, a rhythm that belongs to no one else, that needs no justification, that proves your place in the vastness of all things. Let this be your practice, not to achieve but to align, not to conquer but to surrender, not to seek but to see. For everything you once believed was distant is in truth the substance of your own being. The world will continue its noise, its rhythms, its illusions, but you will have found the quiet wellspring that cannot be disturbed. You will move through the hours anchored by something silent, generous, and unbreakable. You will become, effortlessly, a lighthouse steady, welcoming, shining, not to be seen, but to illuminate the way for all who wander. Let your life answer every question, not with explanation, but with presence. Let your smile be a prayer, your silence a blessing, your existence a hymn to the truth that cannot be spoken but is felt in the marrow of every soul. It's already yours. Wholeness, belonging, peace, and purpose, these are not distant gifts, but the atmosphere you now breathe. Live as the one who knows this, not in arrogance, but in humility, not by withdrawing from life, but by pouring yourself into it with open hands. And so, as you step forth, do not ask, what must I do? But how fully can I be here? Do not ask, what do I need to find? But what do I have to give? For the secret has always been this: you are what you seek, you have what you need, you are already home. This is the quiet revolution of the soul. This is the great unveiling. This is the love that needs no reason, the joy that precedes all circumstance, the freedom that is not given or taken but recognized. In the name of all that is sacred, walk gently, love deeply, and shine, knowing at last, with unshakable certainty, that it's already yours. Live that way.